Let's now review the RAI, or Request Additional Information process, which is similar to the clarification process. Here, the CMS point of contact initiates an RAI, which returns the submission package to the state. Then, the state point of contact, or SPOC, receives the submission package and RAI form in their task list. At this point, the SPOC determines if the package needs to be updated based on the information asked in the RAI form. If so, the SPOC modifies the package accordingly and responds to the questions within the RAI form. If not, the SPOC responds to the questions in the RAI form and does not modify the package. Once the RAI form and any modifications to the package are complete, the SPOC returns the package and RAI form to CMS. At that point, a new 90-day regulatory clock begins. And this slide outlines the steps necessary for responding to an RAI request that we just reviewed in the previous slide, and you may refer back to it as needed in the future. Let's head back to MacPro to show how a state point of contact responds to an RAI request. So we're already logged in as state point of contact, and we're going to stay logged in. First, you will receive an email and a task in your task list letting you know that CMS has returned the package to you for an RAI. Like in MMDL, the RAI stops the 90-day clock and can only be used once per submission. The RAI differs from a clarification in that the RAI stops policy clock, and it includes an RAI form where CMS lists specific questions or directions within an RAI form regarding how the package needs to be updated prior to an approval. A new 90-day clock will begin once CMS receives the state's response to RAI. With this addition of the RAI form within MacPro, your state will no longer receive a paper-based RAI. Let's now select the task to respond to the RAI for the task ending in 4688BB. This takes us to a page where we may respond to the RAI request. Our package information is listed at the top of the page, including the package ID, which is an auto-generated letter and number combination used to track the submission package. This page also includes the program name, the SPA ID, the version number, the submitter, the submission type, the state, the region, the package status, the submission date, the REI period, and the review status. The audit information in the reviewable units are also listed below. If we scroll further down, at the bottom of the screen we'll see a button labeled View Respond to REI. Let's select that button to continue on. We see we have one question from CMS related to our package. As a disclaimer, this question is strictly for training purposes. It is likely you may receive a greater number of more complex questions in a real-life RAI request. We see there is a reference, in this case to the optional targeted low-income children reviewable unit, and a question, please revise the income standard used for this eligibility group. Policy and regulation is also cited. At this point, we don't quite remember what we've originally entered in this reviewable unit, so let's go take a look at that RU. We can do so from this page by selecting the Return to Package Summary button. Then in the reviewable unit tables, we will select Optional Targeted Low-Income Children. And we'll select the View All Responses button to expand the sections on the screen. If we scroll to the Income Standard Used section, we now see that we do need to make an update to the income standard used. Not all RAI responses require edits to the package, although most do. Now we know that we will have to modify our package, so to do so, we're going to select the Take Action on Package button, and yes. We have a few workflow actions listed here, and we're going to choose the action to modify the return submission package, and we'll go ahead and execute that action. At this point, we'll need to refresh our task list, so we'll select the Task tab. We see that we now have the task to respond to the REI. At this time, we do have the ability to edit the reviewable units because we selected to modify the package. Let's scroll down and select the Optional Targeted Low-Income Children Reviewable Unit. Again, we'll expand all of the sections on this page by selecting View All Responses. In the Income Standard Used field, we will delete the previous data entered and update the information to say 180. Again, if we click out of the box, MacPro will automatically convert this number to a percentage. Because we made an update to the package, the validation question defaulted back to no, so we will need to revalidate to assure that there's no validation errors on this page, and then we will save the reviewable unit. Let's return to the package summary. And now we'll respond to CMS in the REI form. We'll select the button to view Respond to REI at the bottom of the screen. In order to respond, we have to select the number 1 under the question ID column. This expands the text box for the state's response. And in this box, we're going to type, we have updated the income standard used for this eligibility group to 180% FPL. And as a note, you'll need to click out of the text box in order for the Save Response button in the bottom right corner of that box to become active. So let's save our response. Next, indicate yes to the question under the table that the submission package was updated by the state in accordance to the response. Please note that this response to the REI form may be filled out prior to editing or after editing your package. Let's select Return to Package Summary. We'll scroll to the bottom, and now we'll take action on the package. And we'll select Yes. Again, we have a couple workflow actions here. Because we just made the revisions, we are going to submit the REI response to CMS. The submission package does not need to be recertified by the state director after this change, but we do encourage you to make sure your state is in agreement and understands the changes prior to resubmission. Additionally, if you would prefer to double check with CMS prior to submission, you may also allow CMS to view by updating the visibility settings that we showed previously prior to resubmitting to ensure that enough information was added to the description like we reviewed. Now we will execute the action and select yes. All right, so this is the end of our in-system demonstration portion for today's training. We're going to return to the PowerPoint to review more information, and then we will follow with the question and answers portion. Once CMS receives a submission package, CMS will start the approval process. Once approved, the state point of contact will receive an email notification and receive a task in their task list to acknowledge the package receipt. The state point of contact can see the submission was approved by the symbol that looks like a check mark in a green circle. In the system, if you hover over that check mark, it will say approved. The SPOC can acknowledge the approved submission package and execute the action. So the next few slides include the reports available within MacPro for certain state users. Each of these reports function similarly but pool different information for your reference. Again, this slide is for your future reference. Technical assistance will be available to MacPro users. For issues related to MacPro access and how to use the MacPro system, contact the MacPro Help Desk at macpro_helpdesk@cms.hhs.gov. You can also call 301-547-4688. And finally, you could also select the Request System Help link within MacPro. To help expedite an answer to your request, here's the information that should be provided in an email request to the help desk. Your contact information, the program and authority you are using, such as MacPro Medicaid State Plan, eligibility, a detailed description of your inquiry. If applicable, specify the last screen or activity that was performed before experiencing your issue. And if you are experiencing an issue, please include screenshots. The table on this slide outlines web browser version details for accessing MacPro, as well as web browser and software information related to using the print-to-PDF functionality within the system. Please note that Google Chrome is the optimal browser for use within MacPro, and Internet Explorer users must have version 11 to access MacPro as of July 10th. If necessary, we do encourage you to work with your organization's IT department to prepare for working within the MacPro system. Furthermore, this table lists the software requirements for accessing MacPro and the print-to-PDF details. Again, this is for your future reference as you utilize MacPro. The next couple of slides contain additional resources for your future reference. First, if you have not done so already, please obtain an EIDM ID and request your appropriate EIDM role for access to MacPro. For all state users, this role is the MacPro State User role in EIDM. Instructions are available to assist you with this process on Medicaid.gov under State Resources, then the Medicaid and CHIP Program Portal, and EIDM instructions for MacPro users. The direct link to these instructions are listed on this slide for your reference. Additionally, the EIDM portal team has videos available that demonstrate the necessary steps you will need to take. Please note that these videos are not specific to the Mac Pro application. Links to these video resources are located on the slide as well. All right, so that concludes today's session.